Should McDaniels consider the Packers head coaching job?
Yes, but the Packers should not consider Josh McDaniels as a head coaching candidate. Hell no. And it's for one reason and one reason only. And I want to say this to you, Teddy, especially. This has absolutely, positively nothing to do with the competence of a Josh McDaniels. He's a quality football mind. His accomplishments speak for themselves. I have no issues with him in terms of his football acumen. I don't trust Josh McDaniels outside of New England. As far as I'm concerned, anywhere else he goes, he just wants to be in New England. We all know he was supposed to be the coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
True.
Didn't happen. He reneged on that situation, put them in a bind. Now, I can't knock him because he loves working with my favorite owner in the NFL, the great one, Mr. Bob Kraft, Mr. Robert Kraft. I love this man, so I don't blame him one bit for not wanting to leave that man. And obviously, he's been given some kind of indication that there's the potential there to be the heir apparent to Bill Belichick in the event that Bill Belichick decides to walk away from the game at some point in time. I get all of that. All I'm saying is this guy is a New England Patriot through and through. I'm not even bringing up his record in Denver, which was 11-17, 3-9 his last year before he got fired in Week 13. I'm sure he's learned from that. He was young. He was a rookie back then as a head coach. I get it. I'm not holding that against him. I'm saying his heart is in New England. I don't trust him anywhere else, and that's why I wouldn't go after him.
Here's the thing. What does Charlie Weiss at Notre Dame have to do with Josh McDaniels in Green Bay? In other words, that is true, obviously, Molly, as you pointed out. It is obviously true that coordinators for Belichick have not really worked out with other teams. And McDaniels hasn't looked great so far in that capacity, right? But that doesn't look. Belichick didn't look great in his capacity as a head coach in his first season either. Oh, what about Bill Parcells? Great Bill Parcells. Here's his D coordinator. What happened? What happened was he was learning. It was under not great circumstances, and he got another job, and he became the greatest coach in the history of organized football. Let's be honest, given the way the league is now and the Patriots' success. Yes, the Green Bay Packers should be interested in Josh McDaniels, and yes, Josh McDaniels should be interested in the Green Bay Packers. Of course, look at the teams having success. Teddy, Reich, and Nagy, and McVay, and all the enterprising, bright minds who understand how to adopt and adapt to the new offensive schemes coming out of like the Big 12, for example, and know the modern game. Those are the kind of coaches you need. Josh McDaniels fits into that category. Tom Brady has had his best seasons and his best offense under McDaniels. Of course he would be a likely candidate for the job, and if you gave him Arron Rodgers, I'm sure he could do quite well.
Yeah, he should be a candidate for the job. He should be considered for the job. I mean, Josh McDaniels is going to be a head coach in this league. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know what kind of deal that he made with the New England Patriots and Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. I know that they probably might have told Josh that, are we going to have to deal with this again next year? So is there a deal in place down the road? We don't know that, but in terms of a creative offensive mind from week to week, having different plans, Josh McDaniels absolutely has that knowledge. I think he's ready to be a head coach. He can be a capable head coach. In terms of the Green Bay Packers and Arron Rodgers, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Arron Rodgers would want Josh McDaniels as a head coach, and here's why. Because if Josh McDaniels becomes Arron Rodgers' head coach, and then everything Arron Rodgers does, all the success that he has, is tied to Tom Brady, is tied to the New England Patriots. They had to bring someone from Tom Brady's past or Tom Brady's career over here to fix you, for you to have success. I don't think the ego of Arron Rodgers would like that. I don't think he wants anything to do with the New England Patriots or Tom Brady, because I feel that he feels, I'm better than Tom Brady, and I don't need his old offensive coordinator to have success. Let's get somebody else in here, someone new, someone fresh, because I'm good enough to make it work with anybody that's going to come in here. So I understand and how we're talking about the possibility, because Josh is a great head coach, a great offensive mind, but it's just not going to happen, and Arron Rodgers isn't going to let that happen.
Well, a couple of things. Again, I'm not going to just summarily dismiss my initial point about him reneging on the Indianapolis coach job, because you had greats like Tony Dungy and others that talked about what a blemish that was on the coaching profession. That's just not something that you do after accepting the job and putting people in a pinch like that. That's number one. I think that's something that potentially counts against you. And number two, let's keep in mind his last year in Denver, although it was a long time ago. We're talking about 8 years ago, and we get it. It was his first head coaching experience. And you can't hold that but so much against him. But let's not forget, they were ranked dead last in points allowed and yards allowed. So you had a guy that was known for his offense, and they were certainly improving offensively. But as an overseer, there's a legitimate argument that he wasn't that guy, which is similar to what they have said about other coordinators coming out of New England, and I don't think you can ignore that.
Teddy, I also want to go at your logic for a second about how Rodgers would perceive it. You have better insight into the way a world-class athlete would view this, obviously, than I do, but it seems to me that what you're talking about would only be the case in failure. In other words, if McDaniels goes to Rodgers and he doesn't have success, then Brady looks better. But if Rodgers gets his coordinator and has great success, who looks better? Now all of a sudden it's like, Brady lost his guy, Rodgers got him, and look how good Rodgers looks. In other words, it gives McDaniels more credit for Brady's success. I don't think that makes Rodgers look worse in success, only if he fails.
Well, I think either way, it doesn't look good in the mind of someone that would be Aaron Rodgers in saying, listen, if I have success, like you're saying, it's because of I needed the guy that gave Brady success, and so we're linked. But if I don't have success, there's the same. You're right, Max. Then it's like there's a downside to it. So I don't want any of that possibility at all. So just don't even bring someone in here from the sort of Patriots way, because we can do it ourselves.
Completely get what you're saying, Teddy. Yeah, because it's a lose-lose kind of for his legacy either way.